Legato style playing is amazing. It's one of the coolest things in my opinion to listen to, but like anything, it has to be done well. So how do you do it? Today we're going to be working with 16th notes and triplets. So if you're not familiar with those rhythms, watch these two previous videos I've done on rhythms. Hey guys, my name is Devin Bishop. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're talking about legato playing. I cover guitar content and just try to have fun along the way, so let's get started. So the first thing we're going to work with is 3-note per string scales. I also have a video on this as well if you're not familiar with this idea. 3-note per string scales can be a little bit tricky at first because it does require you to stretch your hand out quite a bit. But what you want to do is adapt this position that you see here. You can see how my hand has this angle up through my arm, up through my wrist, up to my hand, and it's an angle like this, right? When you're doing this, you got to be careful with this angle. If you go too much, you can damage some of the tendons, and too much tension can create a lot of pain. So you want to be careful with that. But like this is pretty natural. Now, when you bring this to the guitar, you come around like this, and you'll find a lot of extra hand room to work with. First, you might start with 4 frets, and then pretty much what you want to do is extend your index finger out this way. Now you can see where my thumb is in relation to all this as well. So then you just want to play the scale like so using hammer-ons. Now when you're doing this, make sure you limit the amount of movement that you're doing with your fingers. So a more tight way to play it, where everything is more close, would be like this. Now here's an idea of how triplets would sound with the scale. So try this at different tempos, and again, as you're going through this, you want to count 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Or if you're doing 16th notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the next thing you want to do is add in some chromatics once you get used to this. So this has become very popular nowadays, especially with artists like Tom Quayle and other fusion guitar players. So what you would do is play the same scale, but you would add a chromatic note. So on the 6th string, you would have 3, 5, 6, 7. Same thing next string. Then the next string, you would have 4, 5, 6, 7. Same thing next string. And then the next string, the chromatic note you're inserting is the 6th fret. Basically, the note you're not playing on each scale, that's what you're inserting into the scale. That would be like this on the 2nd string. And then the same thing on the 1st string. Now if you include triplets, that would be something like this. Sixteenth notes is actually easier because basically you're doing a whole string per beat. Now it would be like this. Now once you work this up to different tempos, starting slow, going fast, you'll really find that your technique will develop. So when I first started doing this, it was really difficult to get started, and I didn't get much sound out of my hammer-ons and pull-offs, but I just kept doing it. And the more that I did it, the strength slowly came, and so did just getting used to it. Now, part of the reason that legato technique is so prevalent in my playing is because I'm a pretty bad picker. I've done a couple videos on picking recently because my picking has improved a lot, and I'm still working on it all the time despite me being bad at it, basically, because I know that if I continue to practice it, I will improve at it. And it's the same thing with this technique. I wasn't that great at it whenever I first started, but I've become pretty decent at it through just practicing it for hours. Now, the next thing you want to work on is just your rhythm and your timing. So when you're playing legato technique, it can be difficult to get everything to sound even. Your finger hits may not line up exactly where they should in regards to the beat. Let's take, for example, the number 16. If we divide that by 4, we get 4 an even amount of times, 4, 4, 4, 4. You wouldn't have like 3, 5, 3, 5. But when you're first getting started out in legato technique, it's really hard to develop that evenness. So the way that you can work on this is just turn on the metronome and repeatedly play triplets and 16th notes. The old 4-fret exercise, but now you're trying to do all of that with hammer-ons and pull-offs. So if you did triplets with the metronome, and we did it on, let's say, the 3rd string using the 3-note per string scale, you could do triplets like this. You could also do 16th notes with the chromatic passage like this. Then pull-offs, same thing. You could do triplets just with the 3-note per string scale idea. You could then use the chromatics to get an easy 16th note sound. And then you could use chromatics to get a grouping of 4 sound. And that would be like this. You can get a similar idea with 16th notes if you use the 3-note per string pattern. And that would be like this. Doing these kinds of ideas daily will greatly improve your playing and greatly improve your legato technique. So thanks for checking out this YouTube video today, guys. I will see you in the next one.